Hi guys, it's Miss Leslie. I gave you 5 problems to do last night in hopes that you would have an easier time in solving equations with one solution, no solution, and infinitely many solutions. So yesterday, guys, some of us talked very briefly about the types of solutions that we have and what we should have on both sides of the equal to sign, how they should match or how they shouldn't match. Guys, remember, if you have a one solution equation, if you would draw a line down the middle of the equal to sign and you compare both sides, if nothing matches, which means the variables don't match, there's no variables on this side that matches 2x, or the constants don't match, this side is 3 and this side is 6, you're guaranteed that this equation will have one solution. A no solution equation means if you draw a line down the middle of the equal to sign and you compare both sides, your variables will match, like 2x and 2x. These are the same on both sides of the equal to sign, but the constants are different. You guys look closely. On this side you have 13, but on this side you have 3. So therefore you won't have an answer at all for this particular equation. And then the last one is infinitely many. Let's draw a line down the middle of this equal to sign. When we compare both sides, both the variables match, 2x and 2x, and the constants match. They're both positive 3's. So if you have twins on either side of the equal to sign, this equation will have infinitely many solutions. So guys, let's look at the 5 problems that I sent you yesterday. I thought they were a little bit easier than the ones that you have on the lesson that you're supposed to complete. And let's see how we did. This first equation that I gave you was 24x plus 6 equals 6 times the quantity, 4x plus 1. How many solutions did you say this equation had? This equation has infinitely many solutions. Very good. I know all of you got that right. So let's work it out together and see what we got. Okay? I'm going to draw a line right down the middle of the equal to sign. When I look on this side of the equation, there is nothing that you can combine together. You can't add 24x and 6. Wish you could, though. It would make our lives easier, but you can't. These are not like terms. If you guys looked at the like terms video or PowerPoint that I sent you, it's easy to tell that they both have constants, but this 24 has an x and this 6 does not. So we just have to leave it the way that it is. So I'm just going to bring that down. 24x plus 6. But when we look at this side of the equal to sign, what are we supposed to do? Use the distributive property. Let's use the distributive property. The distributive property means that we take the term that's directly on the outside of the set of parentheses and multiply it times each term on the inside of the set of parentheses. So we'll multiply. 6 times 4x. 6 times 4 is 24. And don't forget your x. And then 6 times 1 is 6. Let me bring down my plus sign to separate the two terms. Now I've got 24x plus 6 on this side of the equal to sign. Again, you can't combine anything together because this 24 has an x and this 6 doesn't. So now it's time to compare both sides. I got 24x on this side of the equal to sign and 24x on this side of the equal to sign. I got a constant of 6 on this side of the equal to sign and a constant of 6 on this side of the equal to sign. So when you have twins, it has infinitely many solutions. Guys, if you have any questions, feel free to email me or to mail me in the inbox. Good job. I know that you did well on this question. Let's look at the second question that I sent you. 12x minus 2 equals 6x plus 9 plus 6x. How many solutions did you say this equation had? This equation has no solution. Let's talk about why. First thing I want to do is draw a line directly down the middle. I call this line my railroad tracks that separates this part of the equation from this part of the equation. Now let's look at this side. I've got 12x minus 2. Can I combine these together? No, I can't, because this 12x has an x and this negative 2 has nothing. So the only thing we can do right now is just bring that down. 12x minus 2. But on this side of the equal to sign, I see some like terms that we can combine together. Is it 6x plus 9? No, because this 6x has an x and this 9 doesn't. But which two of your terms both have x's? 6x and 6x. What does the sign ask us to do with the 6x's? It asks us to add them. 6x plus 6x. And 6x plus 6x will give me 12x. And if we added these together, what was left over? Oh, the plus 9. Can you add 12x and positive 9? No, you can't, because this 12x has an x, but this 9 doesn't. So it's time to compare. Let's look at both sides. I've got 12x on this side, and I have 12x on this side. They're both positive, so they match. Let's look at the constants. I have negative 2 and positive 9. They don't match. Remember, guys, that if your coefficients are the same or your x's are the same, but your constants are different, which means your numbers are different, that there's no solution for this equation. So for the second equation that I sent you, there was no solution. I know you did wonderfully, but if you have a question about it, make sure that you send me a message. Let's look at the third one. 4x plus 3 equals 21 minus 11x plus 12. Let's draw a line down the middle and simplify what we can. Looking on this side of the equal to sign, I've got 4x plus 3. You want to combine something? No, of course not. Let's just bring that down. Can't add 4x and 3 together. They're not like terms. This 4x has an x. This 3 has nothing. Okay? But when I look at this side of the equal to sign, there are things that we can combine together. Is it the negative 11x and the 12? Notice, guys, that I did say negative 11x because that 11 is going to carry the sign in front of it. But I'm not going to add anything to negative 11x because it has an x and the rest of these terms don't. But because they don't have anything with them, that means that I can combine them together. So I'm going to bring negative 11x down. And I'm going to do what the sign asked me to do with 21 and positive 12. And that means I'm going to add them. See, there's the plus sign that's asking me to add them. 21 plus 12 is how many? 33. And that's a positive 33. Did you guys say that this equation has a solution? It does. You know how we know? When you compare both sides and nothing matches, you're guaranteed that your equation has a solution. The x's don't match, nor do the constants. This is a negative 11x and this is a positive 4x. This is a positive 3 and this is a positive 33. Did anybody find out what the solution for this equation was? I'm going to show you guys a trick. If you know to put all the x's on this side and all the numbers on this side, it makes it easier for you to solve for x. So if I want only x's over here, you get rid of the positive 3. Remember, guys, when you've been solving equations in the past, you're doing the exact same thing. You're going to do the opposite. The opposite of positive 3 is negative 3. What you do to one side of the equal to sign, you have to do to the other. 3's on this side cancel out, and I have 4x equals negative 11x. And then I'm going to combine positive 33 and negative 3. 33 minus 3 is 30. Now, I got all the numbers over here, so let's get all the variables over here. How am I going to get the 11x over here? I'm sorry, the negative 11x over here. We're going to do the opposite. I'm going to add 11x to both sides. Because what you do to one side of the equal to sign, you got to make sure that you do to the other. And then the 11x's cancel out on this side, and I'm left with 30. And what do I get over here when I combine them together? 15x. Now what kind of equation do we have? Yeah, it's multiplication. We need to get rid of this 15, this coefficient of 15, by doing the opposite. The opposite would be division. If you divide one side, then divide the other. 15's finally cancel out. X is finally alone. And 30 divided by 15 will give me positive 2. So guys, yes, it was one solution, and the one solution was 2. Remember, guys, I told you in the PowerPoint, if you watched it, that when you have an equation that has one solution, the only number that can fit into this equation and make it true is positive 2. All right. Then the last one, 6m minus m plus 8 equals negative 8 plus 5m. Oh, this isn't the last one. This is number 4. Why didn't you guys tell me? This is number 4. How many solutions does this equation have? It's none. Let's see why. Draw your railroad tracks. On this side of the equal to sign, is there anything we can do? We can combine together some things. How about the m's? Sometimes it can be hard to combine together variables when you don't know what the coefficient is for one of the variables. But if you ever have a variable and you're unsure of what the coefficient could be, and there's no number that comes in front of it, always put a 1. Now, let's combine these together because they're both m's. 6m minus 1m will give me 5m plus 8. On this side of the equal to sign, I've got another 5m, so I'll bring him down first. 5m, and what else do we have? Minus 8. Can you add anything together over here? No. Can you add anything together over here? No. Let's compare them then. 5m and 5m. Check. Positive 8 and negative 8. Are they the same? No. You guys have been studying the number line. You know that positive 8 and negative 8 are not the same. That's why this equation has no solution, because the coefficients match, but the constants are different. Guys, if you have any questions about this equation or any of the other ones, please make sure that you message me. Then the last one. How many solutions did this equation have? It has one solution. What was the one solution? What did k equal? K equals, did you say negative 6? Let's see how we get negative 6. Guys, again, I'm going to draw my railroad tracks. It just helps me to keep things straight. Separates this side of the equation from this side. Let's look. Anything we can combine together? These are both k's. I'm going to use our trick from before. We don't know what number comes in front of this k, so we put a 1. This is where your integer operation rules come in. You've got 1k minus 7k, which will give you negative 6k. Make sure you're watching your signs. What does negative 6k equal? 36. How am I going to get this negative 6 off this k? This is multiplication, so we're going to solve it through division. We'll divide both sides by negative 6. Negative 6's cancel out. K is alone. A positive divided by a negative is a negative, and 36 divided by 6 is 6. Guys, I hope that you liked the 5 problems that I sent you. I'm hoping they were a little bit easier to handle than the ones that are in our lesson that we need to complete by the end of the week. I'm going to send you guys out some additional problems tonight that I've used for my 8th graders. It's a cut and paste assignment, but I'm not expecting you guys to cut and paste, but I'm going to give you hints on how many of each type of solution you should have. Guys, make sure that you message me about any of the problems that we're talking about this week with this difficult concept. It's a really difficult concept, but I'm sure you're doing just fine. All right, guys, take care.